Hello, my name is Rachel, and I will be your instructor for clinical guidelines and professional practice. I have been a nurse for about 13 years, most of which was spent on a spinal cord injury unit in downtown Detroit. I have a certified rehabilitation registered nurse. I have a master's in science and nursing with a nurse educator focus, and I'm currently working on a PhD program. Right now, I just returned from my first residency, so that's exciting. I am the secretary of the American Cannabis Nurses Association, board of directors, or the executive committee, I guess. And I've presented at a few events. We are scheduled to present at the American Holistic Nurses Association this summer about some research that we've conducted with nursing students in cannabis education. We did our preliminary results at the American Cannabis Nurses Association this past December. I do some local things that are not really related to the research, but more of a community outreach. So if you're ever in Michigan and want to come, email me. I'll give you some information. I co-authored a chapter in a Walters Clower publication that's going to be for nurses. It's a nursing handbook for cannabis care, and we are getting ready to do the pharmacology chapter, so that'll be exciting. Let's see, I came into cannabis education. I've been involved with the industry for, I would say, about 10 years now, but it didn't get really, Michigan became legal for medical cannabis in 2008, but it wasn't until 2015 that it really hit home for me. A family member was diagnosed with terminal cancer. It had such a profound impact on my life. I actually left my position so I could care for him at home. Nobody would allow us to give him his medication in the hospital, in home care and hospice. They didn't want anything to do with it. So after he passed away, we started looking into safe cultivation practices because, chemo, radiation, you're vulnerable, and pesticides and heavy metals don't go well with that. So we actually now operate and consult multiple grows here in Michigan and how to, make sure that the growers are making clean medication, because really that's where it starts for our patients. Let's see. I have two boys, and one of them Rowan is 6 years old, and Miles is 9, with my best friend. We have a small farm. We had, I think, 38 chickens at one point, sheep, goat, ducks. I have a cat, dog, and we just adopted another German Shepherd, and she chews everything. So it's truly a zoo. And I understand the struggles of family life and school and trying to work as well. So please reach out if you feel like you're falling behind. We can talk. We'll make it work. I am very flexible, but I do expect quality work. I like APA on everything. It's just, we're at a stage now where we should be able to at least work on that. And if I return a assignment with a lot of markup on it, it's don't freak out. I'm just doing that for help in the future. If you need that, you may not even. I will work with you. Let's see, journals. They don't need a cover page. They don't need headers and all that stuff. Just do double space, Times New Roman, 12 font, and make sure there's no extra spaces in between paragraphs. That would be great. And your name on it. And save the document. If you're uploading any document and you have to change the name of the file, please save it as what week we're in, your last name, first initials. So it will be week 1 or WK1, last name, first initial. No spaces, no underscores or anything. That'll help me keep everything organized for you guys. We will go over the paper a little bit more in our next Zoom meeting, and I will send out some templates if you're interested. Just comment on this or send me an email in the discussion. I may just do it anyway, so that way you guys have a template of what I expect as far as APA. We will talk, I want you to come to the next Zoom meeting, which is next Thursday, the 5th. And that will be 9 a.m. Pacific time and 12 noon, so noon Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Eastern Standard Time zone, so I try to keep everything situated with those. I want you to bring your topic that you want to write about to the next Zoom meeting, and just be prepared to kind of bounce some ideas off each other. Nothing, in writing, excuse me, and we're just going to work together, maybe break up in some groups and see how that goes. Our, let's see, the 26th is the second Zoom meeting. That one's going to be 2 hours, and we start about an hour early because we will have a guest lecture. And that begins 8 a.m. Pacific time and 11 Eastern Standard Time. Your discussions, please do not post before the week begins. It will not count towards your entry or your grade. And make sure that at least it's Monday before you submit. Don't wait until the last day to reply. This is about interaction. It's not necessarily about formatting. I want you guys to learn from each other. We have a big, wide range of people in this group that we have a lot to learn from each other. I'm big on that, so I'm excited to learn from you, and hopefully I can help you learn a little bit more about clinical guidelines. So yeah, and the reason too is, and I'm guilty of this, is replying on the last day. You're never gonna go back. Some people do. It's hard to go back and read through those responses because you're already gearing up for the next week and what you need to do, because these weeks go quick. And so if you really want to interact, it's you'll get more out of it at that point. I will allow one extension, 48-hour extension. This is not for your final paper. Please do not use this on your final paper. I want to make sure I get your grades in on time, so I don't want to use that on that. So you can use that 48-hour extension on your journals and your initial discussion posts. The replies, it cannot be used on, because if it's due Sunday, 2 days later, it's just, you can't do it into the next week. You're not really discussing anything. So if you have to actually turn in your discussion on the last day, do your replies at the same time. But please email me that you're using your extension, so I know. Otherwise, I won't use that. I'll assume that you want to use it for a future assignment, and I don't want to have to guess. So please email me if you're using your extension. Let's see. I don't think there's really much anything else. If you haven't heard of it already, download Grammarly. That has been really helpful in my writing, and it's extremely helpful. And I will also be running some things through the plagiarism checker. If you have any issues where some things seem plagiarized, I will talk to you. We'll learn how to paraphrase a little bit better, but we have to make sure that when we are writing, we are not using somebody else's work. It's very important to maintain that respect for authors and researchers. So I think that is it. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I can try to give you some tips. Oh, and one tip, the Chasing the Scream is on Audible, which is super helpful. I have a hard time being able to sit down and read sometimes, 2 young boys and a farm. But listening to it on your earbuds while you're doing, dishes and whatnot, or driving, saves you a lot of time, and it's very useful. So I don't know. I think that's it. So I'm excited to get started and learn from you guys, and turn in stuff, ask questions, interact with one another. We're gonna have a good, semester. It's not gonna be extremely hard, but we're gonna learn how to put these things into practice that you learned from last semester. So, all right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.